ESL One Hamburg is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Alienware, Logitech G, and PaySafeCard.
Welcome back everyone to ESL One Hamburg 2018. Day number 2 is almost coming to a close, but we do have one more game. Let's see how Aster and compLexity get on in their final game. If you prefer one of the other games, you can go and check out streams B and C, where both of those games are in their second games right now. Virtus.pro up 1 against NIP, and Forward Gaming up 1 against EVOS right now. Both very important matches for the outcome of this entire group in Group B. However, we're back with Purge and Trent at the panel as we look forward to the draft for game number 2. Gents, that's a good effort in hindsight, isn't it, from compLexity game 1?
Yeah, I think that's clear. They showed that they can at least get semi-close to beating their opponents. They didn't do anything super cheesy. They just played heroes they really wanted to play. And I think the best thing they did is that they adapted in these bad situations in a good way, where they okay, it was hard for them to take a fight, and their laning stage sucked, but they did the right things that made sure that their opponents didn't get even farther ahead. Like, their TB didn't die endlessly. They took semi-smart fights around Roche.
The bounty runes, too. We were talking about a lot while watching the game. Around that, weren't they? It was unbelievable. Yeah. They had almost all of them.
Would have been easy, Trent, in some ways, to have gone, oh crap, we've had a really bad start, we've not got a great draft, we're not winning our lanes. Kind of sack this game off at 17 minutes and say cheerio and come back and fight for another. But they didn't. They stuck at it. They gave it a good go. It was a long, 46.5-minute game, so gave it a decent go. Yeah,
I mean, Limp got off to a well enough start on the TA that the game could still be fine. You know, as long as that hero isn't getting totally dumpstered, then your game is definitely still playable. Because TB can farm his way back into the game. Tempo Assassin certainly needs that snowball, wants to try and like help contest Roche, build a whole game off of that. And Limp is one of the best players, especially in North America, at even doing that. Like the guy he plays TA. He's very good at it. So,
all right. Game 2, as far as Aster are concerned, now they can kind of take their foot off the pedal a little bit, Trent, because they're qualified. That's all good. They're all done. And what do they do now? Do they mix it up? They don't want to show anything that they don't want to give away for the brackets, obviously, now. But I guess they probably want to just make sure they guarantee themselves that seed 1 as well.
I mean, that's a good question, right? Draft-wise, I don't expect them to do anything abnormal because this is another game where they can practice sticking to what they know. But what makes me curious about is, did it affect them last game? So was that Aster playing overly safe because that's pretty standard for how teams in the region play, playing around these strategy things with team fight, or was it that they were playing a little scared because they wanted to make sure they won the game? I would imagine they were probably playing more standard. So with that said, and maybe Colt can take a win if they get the right draft going for them. So gives me some hope for them.
Maybe give Sylar another Monkey King game. I think he
needs some practice.
Yeah, he needs a little bit more time on that hero, I think. That'd be my recommendation.
It wasn't the crispest, but when he needed it, he came up with the right time, right goods.
Well, his teammates
was on point.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't play that bad. Like,
no,
honestly.
it wasn't terrible, was it?
He won his lane in a convincing way, which made sure that Snake King couldn't dominate.
Yeah, and on the Trent level,
I mean, winning his lane was literally sitting under a tower while creeps walk into him. Like, there's a lot of people who just did last hit trainer that could have won that lane. Okay. And then his rotations.
Right. On the Trent Monkey scale, then, where does this fit as a Monkey King game? Is it like a 5 or 6?
But like how he played it?
Yeah.
5 sounds pretty good. That was very average.
Very average on the Trent scale.
Oh, come on, he rotated really well. Wow. He had like interesting skill build. He was he ganked around the map.
He built a Battle Fury and was in the jungle for half the game.
No, he ganked a lot before he built Battle Fury. He had like treads Aquila. He like moved around a bunch. He was like the amount of times that the camera would jump to like Axe and Monkey would get Axe to 40% health, and Axe would have to like leave a little bit.
Oh, like when he jumped down from that tree and missed the 2-hero boundless strike.
Yes, that one time was awful. But
and he hit
all those
both
other times
the
were good.
BKBs of the Roche pit with the boundless strike.
Okay, that one was also bad. So too bad. That doesn't give him a 5. I'd be like,
come on, this is a
professional.
Like a 7 or something. Like 10 has to be impeccable game. I thought that was pretty 5-ish. I didn't give him a 4.
He just had like these tiny moments of failure that were not extremely consequential in the course of the game. Is my point. And everything else he did well, like really well, I think.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's fast approaching November the 5th in the UK. Now you all celebrate Bonfire Night. I'm great at lighting fires. I just stand in the middle, stuff explodes around me. Well done, guys. I like that. It was a good bit of banter. Draft started.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. There's a few missing from the bands, by the way.
Oh, yeah? That Drow is there?
Well, the Drow, the Tiny, and the Wisp is pretty standard from Aster, but compLexity have decided that they don't want to play the LC. That's for absolutely sure. The Necro's moved up to phase 1, and the Ogre's in there as well, which left quite a few others, including the Weaver, the Morphling, the Wyvern. Not that we've seen a huge amount of Wyverns today again, but still.
I mean, it's virtually the same, right? The only difference is Necro is in first phase, right? But I'm pretty sure it's same bands.
I think you're right, actually. Yeah, it just looks a bit odd, doesn't it, compared to everyone else's bands?
Yeah, it does. And instead, compLexity decided to open with Phoenix instead of take one of the other two heroes, probably because they only have a single pick instead of a double.
Yeah.
Taking like Earthshaker there would have been bad.
Yeah, I like just the straight up Phoenix opener at the moment right now. Just seems to be the new cool hero. If you're first pick, try and leave it in.
I remember the days. Sunray, good hero.
Yeah, it's still pretty damn good. It's just not like the most broken thing.
Not like it was when it was really abused, is it?
No, it's also that Fire Spirits are a lot better too. Fire Spirits used to be, they were like still good, but then all of a sudden everybody realized how broken Sunray was, so then they just started going crazy on Sunray, and then.
Well, Spirits were too good too because they had like there was like a mid Phoenix for a while too with all the Fire Spirits, which is getting a little ridiculous, and then had to tweak some talents on that one too.
Yeah, I remember back to that. I think it was a couple of years ago now, maybe at the first Epicenter. When that Phoenix first started breaking out, Kuro was abusing it and Fly was abusing it, and there was quite a few players, all 4s or 5s, all just standing in the middle of a team fight, killing stuff.
It was like Phoenix Tusk. Basically.
Yeah, it was Phoenix Tusk. Yeah.
Curious how Cole are going to play the axe this game. I really would like to see them transition some actual pressure onto the carry hero using the axe. I don't think it's good enough to just simply cut the wave and let both of you equally farm, because in most games, equally farming with an offlaner and equally farming with like a harder carry type hero is going to go better for the harder carry type hero. For the most part, unless therefore that, if that offlaner can just like suddenly get a blink and use their pressure across the map, sure, maybe that's going to be better. But I feel like the axe should have been able to put some pressure onto the carry in that lane. Unfortunately, he had no support to do it. And I'll say one of the best things about that game was how fast Envy actually got a blink. That largely goes in credit to Z-Freak just buying everything for him. So it's not like Envy hitting creeps or anything like that. But I thought his blink was going to be super delayed because he just had nowhere to go.
Your 5 out of 10 Silent Monkey King is not something compLexity agree with. It's a second phase ban. Presumably, if it was 5 out of 10 Trent, they would have left it in.
I think it's just good against the axe.
Trent, it's because the Monkey King outlaned the axe. That's why that ban is there.
Standing under the tower.
And harassing him later, yes. I mean, if you have a whole Vanguard and you're an axe, and a carry can basically go on you one time with like 2 skills and lower your health to like 40%, that's a huge problem. That means axe can't stay in the lane. And that basically like takes him out of that like 8 to like 15-minute mark period where axe normally wants to just sit in the lane, cut the creep wave, dive the tower. He can't do that against Monkey.
So we're in second phase bans right now. Over in Stream C, by the way, it's NIP versus Virtus Pro. NIP have a slight lead on VP, who, by the way, are playing Tiny Morph, Bane, Willow, Storm.
Not a lot of Willows.
Yeah, it's the first Willow I've seen, actually.
Is Roger on the Willow, I assume? Sorry to grill you here. That's okay. Guess we'll figure it out. Roger's playing the Tiny actually in that game.
Yeah,
okay,
Tiny
cool.
support. Yeah, the Willow is with Pasha in the offlane.
Interesting. Oh, so they're kind of doing like a probably double, 3.5s kind of deal between the two heroes.
Possibly.
Actually, way more farm with the Willow. Interesting game.
Yeah.
But our game's clearly superior, so why would we ever talk about that? Because we have Undying.
We have 5 potential heroes. That could be anyone.
Think of the possibilities.
We could end up with a Dark Willow and a Morphling and a Huskar, which, by the way, was in the forward EVOS game. EVOS went with the Huskar and lost that game.
I like the Undying here, though. Tombstone provides kind of similar things to what Supernova does. Obviously not as good, but...
Or rather, my bad, actually. That Huskar is in the second game. I was looking at the wrong stream. Yeah, they've actually gone for an Ogre Marana, Venge, Huskar, Earthshaker.
Oh, that is a sick Morphling game. Weaver or Undying to morph into. Even Earthshaker.
Unfortunately, forward haven't picked either of those. They've gone for the Shadow Shaman.
Paul, I'm trying to focus on this draft.
The Clink,
this is your 4th time
Phoenix,
interrupting.
the Tiny, and
I think it's time to stop.
Let's focus on
live.esl-1.com.
Morphling!
Streams A, B, and C.
Yes, indeed. We do get a Morphling then.
Yep.
That's nice.
This one time I picked Undying, and I got counterpicked by a Morphling. I was like, screw this guy, I just max decay. I had 1 tomb, I dropped tomb, he steals it, and I'm just like, boop, 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 dead, and he's like, oh, well, that sucked. And then, like, I don't know, I pressure. It was probably, like, lots of other circumstances. One possibility. Also, Tomb did get nerfed at level 4, which is makes it slightly better to be Undying versus Morphling, arguably.
I guess, in some ways.
Because he can't. Well, you can't slow, but never mind.
But worse to be Undying in all ways.
Yeah.
Okay against the Axe, so there's not a lot of heroes that can do anything versus an Axe in lane. At least Undying can help. Makes it more difficult for you to actually dive towers. And oh my god, finally, I get to watch the D-Stones Invoker.
I was going to bring it up when we went through the second phase bans, because most teams have gotten rid of it by now.
Yeah, it was banned last game in the second phase, I recall.
Yeah. The teams that have let them, or let D-Stones have his 4,900 game Invoker, have lost.
Paul, let me tell you something, actually. They've all lost versus Team Aster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was doing qualifiers as well. I didn't mean just but yes, you're right. They are 7-0, Trent. That's good maths.
Thank you.
I think we've seen here that Cole thinks that Bane is a counter to Phoenix, which is probably why they prioritized it over the Invoker ban.
Right.
Because that's the only other thing that makes sense, right? Like, Monkey would have beaten the Axe, and the Bane would have offset or gone even with Phoenix, which we actually saw a lot in the laning stage last game.
Yeah.
With Z-Freak, he did pretty well against the Phoenix. So this means that a hero like Phoenix, who's mobile, has lots of damage, is going to be able to better win his lane, even against a hero like Undying.
Bane also pretty good against Axe, honestly. Just can actually do something about cutting, unlike anyone else.
Where did compLexity go now? It's giving them a bit of a headache.
BKB heroes are pretty nice up against Invoker. Also, someone that can just get up in his face. They already have the Axe. They could find more like AoE. They could use more control as well to like some sort of AoE that covers the egg too. So like probably pick your Centaur. Oh, they have to do the double pick here. And they already have an Axe. Unless they want to go support Axe and go Centaur or something.
They could hypothetically do like
I mean, this is compLexity Axe. They can do whatever they want with it.
I guess it has to be a 5 though, right? So
yeah, more likely.
Is Rubik crazy here? Steel Sakuchi.
Yeah, Rubik definitely looks okay, but I feel like they probably want a mid, I'm guessing, because they just want to get it now before it gets banned.
You want to do a mid Rubik?
No, like a mid hero.
Are you crazy?
No. Okay, they do grab their mid. So, Kunkka. One way to get on top of Invoker. We saw the same pick by Mineski. They picked Invoker, or I guess they picked Kunkka before the Invokers. No, that was the out game. So, looking like it's a good solution to Invoker.
Yeah, someone who can definitely get up in the front of the fight, someone who can help not only combo up with the Axe spells, but can also cover the egg to try and prevent anyone from getting there.
And good against Weaver as well. If you X him, you guarantee your combo.
Yeah.
Definitely looks like a solid pick. And it's survivable enough that he won't be able to be easily burst by Invoker, and even getting chainstone by Earthshakers into the end of the world. And it's actually made Aster's damage kind of weak, I would argue.
Yeah, as a consequence, though, they will, of course, not have a chance at Rubik. Just way too good against the Weaver. And sort of a signature hero for compLexity, even if it's not on the same player anymore, it would seem.
Hey, man, that was the first hero that Envy got famous on.
His Rubik? That was
Can't say Rubik isn't an Envy special. No. The No Tidehunter.
Yeah.
His first on Alliance version. Well, yeah, that was pre-Alliance, I guess.
In terms of Aster, Sunstrike setups are relatively weak right now. Maybe hoping for another hero that could actually do that. Could be an offlaner. Like, well, Centaur is actually still in. They'll ban the Ursa. Could just be offlane Weaver. And Ursa versus the Phoenix. They're just thinking, try to remove that. Ursa versus Morph too.
Nagasar and Chen or Zeus.
That's a highest rated pick for Cole. That's what they're liking.
Zeus is really good against Weaver.
Zeus would be the option here.
Chen's not bad either, honestly. I'm fine with the Chen. I could get by with that.
How would they fit that into the team?
Support, and then the Weaver, and then you have the Phoenix too. And then you can actually play aggressively with a Chen and an Axe, or you can just be a safe lane hero, and then the Axe and the Phoenix can play together and just use like double harassing spells of Battle Hunger and whatnot. And Chen could actually help a Morphling get decent farm. It's doable. I don't think Cole's been playing a lot of Chen though. But if this was like Alliance or like Final Tribe or something, I could see
Secret.
That is someone who can help a Morph though, for sure.
Yeah, I kind of like this better. Like it guarantees, because they already put a lot of bans towards winning their potential Axe Phoenix lane. Now they have a pick here in their last pick that basically lets them guarantee win the safe lane too. So covers both. So weak on Disable, obviously. They're not going to be able to deal with the Weaver, but he's going to be able to give everybody Ice Armor, so the Weaver just will do a massive amount of damage less than normal.
Yeah.
So they still have to deal with Invoker Nukes. They don't have great solutions against that other than like BKBs and Kunkka combo, but I like the pick. I'm a fan of the hero.
It's a bit scary picking Lich into any hero that can dive, though. If you're like pulling your wave back. But Morph's just so good at controlling the wave anyway because of his ridiculous damage that it'll probably be okay.
Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. And like Weaver takes quite a few levels before he becomes super annoying harass-wise. And even like attack speed slow on Lich is actually pretty good. As much damage as it puts out. Like if you're trading with a Weaver that gets on top of you in the middle of nowhere, it's not bad.
Sylar. Faceless Void. Okay. Possibly. Maybe we'll see who actually ends up playing it. But excellent combination with the Invoker. They didn't have a lot of AoE control overall, like other than the Shaker, but that comes a little bit later. This helps get the ball rolling a bit earlier. Very easy setup for Sunstrikes, but then fights throughout the rest of the game. So
strong pentagrams.
Yeah, strong pentagrams for both. Slightly better for complexity in terms of synergy and more threat on their side as well. So in terms of the statistics anyway, this game favours complexity. But that's not how the game's played. So
thinking smiling, that's a good sign.
I think I like Cole's draft. I think the Lich is pretty solid. I mean, it's going to be really hard for them to deal with Void. That's the only really big wrench in their plans. So I'll just say Cole. I like the draft.
Trent, it's often said that the position, the final pick of the draft is the one that needs to win you the game. Is that Void good enough?
Void is one of those classic heroes there because he's very unique, right? He offers a very specific skill set, and he covers a big hole in a lot of drafts where it's like, oh my god, we don't have team fight, and we have to pick our one, and he's pretty much the only one that actually fills that. So I love Faceless Void. I know Owen does, so I'll go with Team Aster again.
Okay, you're going for Aster, and sorry, what were you going for, Kevin?
A very confident complexity pin.
Very confident.
So convincing.
Indeed. Right, let's head back to a man who I'm sure is very happy to have a Faceless Void to commentate in this one, whilst his sidekick might not be convinced by the draft. But let's find out. Let's head back to Kyle and OD Pixel for Game 2.
Thank you, Jess. It's going to be an exciting Void to watch as well. It's Sylar, of course, on the Void, and a fantastic sort of lineup to play with it around it. I'm OD Pixel. I'm here with Kyle for this Game 2 of Complexity versus Aster. What do you reckon? You weren't a huge fan of Cole's draft in Game 1. Are you a little bit more of a fan of what they're doing this time around?
I like the Lich. I think that was a really nice touch to end it off. Not a fan of them saving their last pick for their 5.
To be the Lich, yeah.
Yeah, but it's salvageable just because, you know, it left it open. It could have been the Axe this whole time, but I would have been a lot more confident were they to take Snaking's hero and make the Axe the 5, but they chose to go a different direction. I'm just fearful. D-Stone's Invoker. This is... If D-Stones has a hero, this is it.
It really is. This is the one that he's been known for in his pubs and in his pro play, so we'll see what he can do, and of course he has... As I said, they've got this great lineup around it. They've got setup across the map from the Shaker and from the Void as well. A lot of potential for D-Stones to find an easy way to just unleash his combo in the midst of the fights. But at the same time, Cole do have some good methods of coming in with counterplays, especially against the Void. Sylar's got to be careful when he's going for some of those mid-game chronos. Doesn't have the BKB. There's things into play like the Rum can come crashing in from the Kunkka. Lots of sort of AoE that makes it hard to commit on a target in the chronosphere. The Rum's going to keep that target alive long enough for sure. Supernova's going to be always a threat from outside of the chrono. You've got to be careful of how long you commit. And of course, that Frost Armor. So a lot of ways that Complexity can protect those that are getting gone on. But Aster, if they get the perfect situations, and then they're sort of, you know, catching these 3-4 heroes in the Echo Slam combos, in the chronospheres, it's going to be hard for Cole to fight back.
Yeah, it's well put. To add on to that, I'd really just say that a lot of pressure on Skem to just go off this game, and Limp for the first 5 minutes. He got worked by no one's Kunkka when he was playing Invoker earlier today. He needs to be sure that he returns the favor to D-Stones, but it's a X-Sort to start versus his Wex in the previous game. So.
Oh yeah, I'll be interested, because as you said, with this Kunkka versus Invoker matchup, if you're solid on the Kunkka, you should be able to sort of crush the first few waves.
Yeah. The downside of this Lich in the safe lane, though, is that you're susceptible to a Weaver Shaker. And one block and bugs, and Zephyr's going to go down.
Oh. Just off the mark there with that Sunstrike. Good attempt from D-Stones, and as you saw, Sylar taking the point in the bash there. They nearly had it, but they didn't quite. Snaking's able to salve up, get himself back into the lane on full health. And we'll see how this one goes. So the Void and Undying up against the Axe and Phoenix. A pretty scary duo.
2 shields on him, but no regen for Snaking, unfortunately. And this could be rough, because Undying zones Phoenix very easily. Oh my gosh, Envy? Blows the Fairy Fire, will survive, but wow, that was close. He's gonna have to walk all the way back to base, I believe. He wants to sit around and tango all the way from 2% to full.
Let's see, as eyes on this mid lane. D-Stones versus Limp. Can Limp get that early advantage with the fact that he does have this Kunkka against the Invoker? Bottom lane, XXS. See how harassed he does get by the two of them, Z-Freak and Skem down here on the Lich morphing combo.
Dude, D-Stones is so good at Invoker. He's getting the auto attack with X-Sword and swapping back to Quas before it lands for the regen. Like literally toggling per last hit. That's super difficult to do. That means he's got it down to pretty much subconscious mechanicals at the moment.
And as expected, Limp does have that CS advantage on the first few waves against D-Stones, but see how things start to heat up once the levels start rolling in for the Invoker. D-Stones does have good control of the wave actually underneath his tower, and that's going to give him the chance to really get back on top as well. I'm talking about up top snaking, finding Fenrir, gets him with the chase down and a few good spins with the creeps, allowed to secure Cole first blood. As mid lane, that's the D-Stones you're talking about, Kyle.
Jeez.
Getting a solo kill onto Limp 2 minutes in a 1v1 where, as you say, we have seen Kunkkas absolutely crush it, but he's given up a kill. Bottom lane at the same time, Z-Freak and Skem chase down XXS. They take the Weaver out of the game. There's Baboka also getting focused. The blast not quite enough to finish off the kill onto Baboka. Back up top, Snaking getting chased as Sylar will come in to join in. One more right click and a decay will do it as Aster fight back and punish Snaking, getting the trade up top.
Have big problems if D-Stones runs away with this mid lane, though. That's the big concern, because he is a guy to watch. This is the one hero he's really impressed me on. Other than that, he's been not mediocre, but not elite. And
sure, like the DK last game wasn't a crazy game. Wasn't a crazy game from him. And oh, the courier? What happened there?
Looks like Limp just missed micro a little bit.
Yeah, he left the courier sat in there, and D-Stones gets a hit in, and I mean that's a fair bit of Skem's items gone. He had a little of the sort of little early ones, I believe, what's the completion of the Aquila, a salve on there as well. He's gonna have to wait for that. That's a dead courier in the middle lane.
I love Limp to death, but
you can't let that happen.
One of his issues is he tends to tilt a little bit if he makes a mistake.
Yeah.
It's like, not like he becomes toxic, but it's a little unhealthy where if he makes an error, he tends to make another one because he's trying to recover, and looks like he's going to be ganked. The block comes out.
As D-Stones is pretty low, does get caught out by the Torrent. As that indeed will hold back the Invoker. Limp able to be careful, but you can also sort of sense it there as well. Top lane, Envy is able to find Fenrir. Again, Cole playing aggressive as they should be with this Axe and Phoenix lane. Getting kills for the two of them.
It's a tough lane for Void, but he's doing a good job. I mean, you just trade under tower, farm. If you're Aster, you're looking to just stall the game out. You don't really have the ability to push towers until you get a bunch of core items up on your Invoker Void. Just want to make sure Snaking doesn't run away with this lane. So far, doing all right. Not ideal, but still even up here. Void is top net worth by quite a bit.
Stop, Fenrir. Down a little bit to the Battle Hunger. Does have Decay back up in a second. As Envy actually is going to TP back to base. Just Snaking left up here at the moment.
I like Snaking's choice to put a lot of points in the Battle Hunger. He put 2 points in by level 3. It does so much damage, and especially with the Phoenix. That harass damage is what's allowed them to find these kills. Bottom lane. Not really much for a Weaver to do down here against a Lich Morph lane. He's gonna start to struggle, especially once the Aquila gets finished on the Morph. Lich levels start to add up, the denies. Oh, but Z-Freak.
Oh, it will pick up the bounty rune, but yeah, pays with his life. Baboka in with the rotation, lays down a Fisher, and sets up XXS for a quick kill onto the Lich. Top lane Fenrir still playing around, he's very low at this. Top lane does have to be careful. Oh, mid lane. D-Stones, as with these denies, getting a clear level advantage now against the Kunkka as he sits on 6, and I believe Limp just only hitting level 5. Top lane Sylar. Trying to chase down Snaking, does get the bash. He's got the backup of Baboka and Fenrir as well. Envy trying to sort of slow him down with the Fire Spirit. Snaking getting a few spins. It's not enough though. The Sorek comes in as they'll get the kill on Snaking. Envy dove in for this. As now the Tombstone's dropped, Envy does not have a dive. TP still on cooldown for 7 seconds. As he'll just get chased down. Like Sunstrike, unlucky for D-Stones as it's off the mark. But Envy does still fall as Fenrir and Baboka just simply run him down.
Don't know about that one.
And not the dive that Envy, you know, not quite sure the plan was with it. Cost him his life, 5 for 3, has 6 minutes in it, is a 2k advantage for Aster. We saw in game 1, Cole having a pretty good shot at the laning stage, but this game it's falling apart a little earlier. Sylar, fine, still has the time walk available to get away from the Sunray.
It's the issue as well with the Lich Phoenix supports where you can't actually impact lanes outside of sitting in one. You're not going to be able to rotate anywhere. Maybe Kunkka hits 6, you'll be able to land a kill on Invoker with Envy's rotation. Looks like it's coming up right now, but there's a Shaker behind him, and Aster is not going to just leave their cores on island. So the bugs missed down bottom. That might have been a kill for sure.
I think it certainly would have if he got it on, but he didn't. Stop lane Sylar. He's going for the Chrono setup. Sunstrike comes in, sets up to take down Snaking. No hesitation as he hits that 6 and looks immediately for a Chrono kill. Sylar's doing very well in the CS39 mid lane. Setups there. Cold snap down as well as the Meteor onto Limp. Limp, he'll try and get the boat out, the rum onto him, and with the heal from the Sunray, he'll be fine. Good X-Mark control as he'll look to turn and choke for the kill onto D-Stones. D-Stones will fall. Very nice response there from Cole. Baboka's trying to dive in for Z-Freak. Does it the wraparound from Fenrir, so they'll get the kill. Cost them the 2 lives though, Aster. They'll lose 2 and only get 1 for that.
Well played by D-Stones though. He did buy before he died, so he lost absolutely no gold. Really nice touch. Something I want to see more of, because now we're all good about utilizing the creep waves, you know, trading deaths away, but I've said this a lot, when you lose gold on death, it's pretty damn close to the amount of gold the enemy team gains, and you've got to be careful about that, especially when you're the top level on your team.
Sylar, see if we can get the bashes. Sunstrike, it hits the connection one more time, walking another bash. Sylar sets up the kill.
That's that 3rd point in bash. Sylar going for the aggressive laning phase domination style.
And that is the 4th time that Snaking's died in this 8 minutes. So they are successfully bullying the axe up top and getting a lot of fortune for Sylar on the Void mid lane. Bit of a combo drop down onto Limp. Won't be enough to kill him off, and does have Z-Freak by his side. We'll see this this fight in the mid. Limp just able to get that boat out, turn with a quick reaction combo onto D-Stones, and having Envy and Z-Freak by his side. It was always going to survive, and with the rum out, very hard for Baboka and D-Stones to fight back into it. It's Baboka, sure, he gets the kill with the help of Fenrir in the wraparound, but it does cost him his own life, so good trade for Cole.
Once again, though, they do have Skemberlu completely free farming down bottom, going for his now traditional extra Wraith Band. Pretty much any Agi hero he plays, totally dominant in this bottom lane, but the big concern is going to be the Void, because he's going to hit his timing way before Morphling. He's not going the Battle Fury build. It's Sylar. He knows what to do. Mask of Madness, Shadow Blade. He'll find the Morph, and then you'll have a huge 500+ damage Sunstrike coming down from anywhere. And if you're on 700, 800 HP on that Morphling, you're dead immediately, and there's no save. Chrono comes back up, and anyone in this top lane now is afraid. Look at the vision as well. It's the dream position to be in if you're Sylar Void. Both high grounds protected. In the meantime, Invoker's hitting for a 200 middle, so all of a sudden Kunkka's damage advantage from the Tidebringer is no longer there.
Bottom lane Sylar. There's the... Ooh, they've got the damage. They do. Just... It's a little close, but they'll find it. Sylar with that Chrono moving down towards the bottom, and as you say, just using his sort of the strength that the hero has at this stage in comparison to the Morphling to ensure that he can get those kills onto the enemy core. It's top Fenrir. Does have a fair bit of strength stolen. Snaking is going to try and dive for this with Envy, but the Tombstone's down. As TP comes in as well from XXS. There's Aster. Look to turn. Z-Freak coming in with the wraparound. Dive across from Envy as he tries to TP out, but the Geminated attack comes in. XXS gets the kill onto Envy. Fenrir is still alive. This is not a dive that Cole can successfully get away with. They'll bring Skem in. Maybe seeing if you can find Fenrir on the retreat, but Fenrir already surely safe enough distance away. Skem. Oh, now he gets it. Very nice. Skem waveforming in and does just have the range for the Adaptive Strike, and it's just enough. Gets the kill onto Fenrir.
Just the... Oh, mid lane.
See D-Stones. The Deafening Blast. Limp trying to find the angle for the Tidebringer hit. It's not enough to kill off D-Stones. Baboka blocks off Z-Freak. D-Stones thinking about turning. Baboka will drop the Echo Slam, able to combo down Z-Freak. The bouncer there, the fact D-Stones, he came back in and it cost him his life. As he got a little greedy there, D-Stones was very low, tried to come back in and have a look in on the fight in the middle lane, and he'll end up falling for that one. So sure, they'll get the Lich, but they lost their Invoker.
Very unfortunate. That's exactly what compLexity needed, but the thing is, Aster, they make their rotation, their carry goes to the bottom lane or swaps into the enemy safe lane. They get the tower plus that kill on the enemy core. Skem does pick up a support, but now he's in the off lane, sitting under dire vision, and there's no tower pressure. That's something Aster... Oh, the Sunstrike! Oh my god.
Oh. Gotta be careful when you're sitting out on the lane. I was pretty what full agi or whatever Skem was on when there's an Exhort Invoker in the game. You can't do that. You can't do that, sir, otherwise you'll lose your life.
Aster just playing the game so well. They bring both support. They're going to dive mid. Bottom tower's dead. What's your next objective? Mid tower. In the meantime, obviously, D-Stones dropping the hammer up top onto the Scamberloop Morphling, who really is just the one bright spot Cole has so far in this game. And that death really hurts him.
It really does.
Snaking could have an opportunity to make an impact, though. He does have his blink finished.
Found Femrip. He should be able to find this one pretty easy with Scam here, as well as Limp and Envy. Indeed they do. Femrip is gone. See if Snaking can find anything more with the blink. He's close. Not quite close enough. They won't see an opportunity to make the jump.
He was. Snaking has blink. They definitely could have caught that.
Yeah, they had vision down as well, but the wall was there. They did see it, but they didn't want to go for that blink jump. I mean, for sure, Void does have Chronosphere available, but potentially could have burst him down before you would have got a chance to pop it.
Well, again, still kind of a close game, only a 2K advantage. D-Stone's also not nearly at the net worth I would have expected after his relatively strong performance in lane.
Only just above Limp. The two of them sort of sitting halfway up the board, as you can see on the individual net worth. This Invoker and Kunkka around that 4K mark. Bottom lane. They've got eyes on Limp, but a little scared of diving and really committing for that one side of Invoker, as there is a smoke from compLexity.
I really wish that Scamberloop was in a different lane. I feel like compLexity is committing a lot to these movements.
Oh, there's the jump. He's got the blink opening straight away with the setup onto D-Stones. Not a chance. The Invoker down bottom. They go with the Chrono, catching out Limp. Echo Slam committed as well. They want the Kunkka dead and they'll get it. A mid for a mid trade.
There's no tower pressure from the side of compLexity either. That's the big concern. It's one of the weaknesses of their draft, is until Morph is huge, no one else is really going to be able to pressure those buildings.
Top lane. Envy does have the Supernova if he feels pressured. They probably can still kill him through it. Are they going to try to do so? They won't. They will back away from the egg. Femra and XXS keeping the distance, but Femra does get caught out by the Supernova stun, so he'll pay the price. Cole able to punish the Undying. XXS still alive, but in a bit of an awkward position. Does have a TP available as well as time lapse, so can look to leave the area when he wishes to do so. As farm for Baboka, 200 gold away from Blink Dagger on the Shaker. 14 minutes in, good timing for Baboka to be reaching. It connects, XXS is chasing with a Shikuchi and should have this one as he goes in onto Envy. Envy sticks around a little too long, didn't expect the Weaver to still be there and will lose his life. So XXS now gets away, and with that kill, he's got the money for the full Dragon Lance on top of his treads and a Aquila, so it's really starting to build up a good amount of these early game stats.
Just well played in general. It's the second Sunstrike kill set up by just the positioning of XXS. Obviously, Aster doing a great job communicating. D-Stones connecting with the naked Sunstrikes. Not a difficult, or sorry, not an easy feat. Big concern is just what are the answers to the Void? You do have an Axe and a Kunkka, but it's static damage output for the most part. You're going to need a fat Morphling if you want to win team fights consistently.
XXS heading over to the rune spot. Nip throw out the torrent, but it's not going to connect as they'll now look to focus down the Kunkka. TPs are coming in. Sylar does not have Chrono available quite yet. But still, Limp in trouble. The Sunstrike, not going to connect, but it doesn't matter. XXS has the damage with the Shikuchi. The Scam trying to still do his best to fight back. He'll begin to shrine up. Aster still hanging around for this fight, but now the Chain Frost comes out between Femra and XXS. XXS gets himself away from Femra as Femra will be left for dead. The rest of Aster keeping the distance as they'll keep the trade in that sense, having the fact that they got the Kunkka, only lost the Undying. Chain Frost was thrown out from Cole.
The thing is, though, Aster doing something we see a lot, these tier 1 squads, only really ever committing 4 players to engagements. Previously was a support on the side, a a safe lane or off lane by himself. Now it's D-Stones just farming, trying to get that Ags, and complexity's committing 5. So even if there's an even trading kills, you're still going to have an XP disparity favoring Aster, the longer they're able to keep one player just alone, chilling, farming up the creeps.
Fisher, also snaking, sentry's down as well. Slam being popped, they really want to keep this man in place. They're throwing everything at this Axe. It does get the job done. Cost them a full combo and Chrono and Slam. I guess with sort of the Axe threat eliminated, they know that there's not a likelihood that Cole are going to try and look for a team fight themselves without snaking. So keeps the map open, keeps the map safe. D-Stones can go back to finishing off that last sort of bit of gold for his Aghanims. He's just 1,200 gold away and it will be done. Going for, so we see this sort of tread straight into Aghanims. None of the small items like the Spirit Vessel this game being prioritized for D-Stones. Just wants to get that Ags ASAP so he can really utilize his full combo with the fantastic setup that he has around him, as we mentioned, with the Shaker and the Void.
Everyone's just, here comes a smoke from compLexity. But not sure I'm a fan of this one, because even if they are able to find a kill here, there's no real objective they're going to be able to take off of this. Their tower damage is limited. They can't do Roche. Where are you looking to make a play here? They could catch the D-Stones Invoker, but there's a Shaker positioned to the side. Nice ward placed as well. Will he break the smoke? He does.
So what they can do is Envy leads it, dives straight away. Immediately the blink out from Baboka keeps him at a safe distance. They won't find a kill today on that top lane with that movement compLexity. Aster are prepared.
It just feels like Cole don't really have a play in the game just yet, and they feel pressured, but it's so hard to make things happen. And Aster, it's just rinse and repeat for them. If Chrono's off cooldown, if Echo's off cooldown, they can go hunt and find if effectively just a free kill. But Cole doesn't have that luxury. They want this mid tower. If they can get it, that'll really open up the map for them, and it looks like that'll go down for free.
Yeah, so indeed is Chrono not quite back there for 20 seconds, nearly there for Sylar. We expect to see him try and make a go for some action once again. He's got the Master Man as the Maelstrom.
I expected the Shadow Blade, but I believe they're just not really concerned about having him hunt on the map. It's better, they think, just to chill, ensure he accelerates as fast as possible in the game. They're not really looking to take some critical engagement anytime soon. Probably wait for the BKB. Then you can look to force a fight around Roche, perhaps. You definitely want the Ags on Invoker. That'll be up in 300 gold. And then all of a sudden, those Sunstrikes, man, it'll be near 600 damage.
Absolutely, if they can catch that morph before he starts to shift, he'll die every single time. As Aster, they're on the hunt. They've got all the ults ready to go. I see Z-Freak. He's going to dispel the smoke. Not really the target they want to go for, though. As Skem still hangs around behind that tier 1 tower in the middle lane. Can't quite get the reach onto him. They'll see MV. He dives back to safety. No chance of going on him either. Is Cole doing a good job of keeping themselves out of harm's way and making sure that Aster can't come in from this angle with the smoke. And they really do have to be careful, Cole. A scary amount of team fight potential from Aster with this Ags online on D-Stones. They may just have to let this mid tier 1 tower go.
The big concern is that the Axe and Kunkka are going to start falling off, especially the way they itemized. It's all on Skemberlu to provide the damage as this game gets later, whereas all 3 cores on Aster are going to scale exponentially. Ooh.
He goes in top. Baboka quick with the TP into the tree line and comes on straight away to destroy Snaking. With the Blink Echo.
Up top, another smoke.
Cole, maybe see if they can fight. I mean, D-Stone's a little vulnerable here at the moment. Baboka's going to be spotted on the sideline. Do find the Shaker.
A very value death there from the Earthshaker. That would have certainly been a kill on D-Stones, but he takes one for the team, blinks right in to the middle of the Lion's Den and goes down. Who was going to grab the bounty runes, though? You got 2 up bottom. Looks like the Sylar Void might be able to catch this bottom one, or he might go in for a Chrono.
He wants to go in for some action.
He's got an Invis rune, that's why. Will he find the Morphling?
That's the one he wants. Who's he going to be the hunt of now? He's following MV. Oh, okay. How about the Chrono for that one? It is just the support Phoenix, but I guess he wanted to find a kill nonetheless with that Invis. It's going to mean they're going to have to slow down the pace again as they wait for the Chrono to be back online. Not the biggest of kills.
He hasn't been watching D-Stones. Were he in our position, he would have known that Sunstrike was 100% going to land.
Yeah, they didn't need the Chrono. get used nonetheless. I mean, Sylar, of course, still top of the game in farm.
Just, it's all about these static damage heroes, man. I've been talking about it, feels like, all day today. But once again, you've got a lot of heroes on the side of complexity that just aren't going to scale as they pick up items and experience. Whereas, I mean, Weaver, Invoker, it's going to be problematic for the side of COL. And Sylar feels confident, like anytime Chrono's off cooldown, just grab a kill. Just continue to accelerate. Yeah. You're not in a hurry. Aster's banking on their superior team fight being able to give them a victory in this critical game too. Although Aster is the one team that is guaranteed to qualify to the upper bracket as of this moment.
With that last win, indeed, they have secured themselves that spot. Of course, I believe so far Aster, they have like a flawless record in the groups. I don't think they've dropped a game, so they want to keep that record nice and clean, nice and fancy. And a win today would certainly do it. It's top. Fenrir has been found, and he does it the Spirit Vessel. On to Fenrir and Limp. Big X mark to grab back the Undying will allow them to take the Undying's life.
Yeah, bottom lane, they lose the tier 2. And XXS has just been...
He's been quietly farming away.
Yeah, no pressure on him whatsoever. No. He's just hanging out, being a bug.
He's going to have that BKB next soon after the Diffusal Blade. And he's
going
to be quite a nightmare to deal with. Oh, didn't expect Baboka to be waiting there by the creep wave Skem as Skem comes forward and just gets absolutely destroyed by that Echo Slam.
Look at the map control. All of a sudden, the Scamber the Morph is dead, and there's 4 heroes in base. And oh wow, that was a kill on Z-Freak, but they whiffed the Fisher.
Yeah, they did indeed. Baboka's able to get the blink off in time before the tick damage comes out from the Battle Hunger, so will escape, but a bit of a whiff there from that. Sylar sees an opportunity to go for Roche. He's got a double damage rune, he's into the pit, he's got the life steal with the Mask of Madness, XXS there as well with the bugs to reduce the armor. It should be a free Roche. 15 seconds, no Morphling, and compLexity are not in a position to head into this fight. With Chronosphere at the ready, the full combo from Invoker, you can't step anywhere near this. As Sylar grabs the Aegis.
And another smoke. This is just squandered. This is the 3rd smoke that I feel like is just you know, hey, let's do something, guys. And they'll get a shaker, it looks like.
Try. Fenrir's going to drop down the tombstone. Baboka finally drops as the boat comes crashing in. Sylar looking for an opportunity to jump in. Oh! He gets absolutely no one with that Chrono. They do kill Snaking. Z-Freak getting bashed. First hit straight up by Sylar. I mean, it gets the job done. A bit of sort of, you know, sometimes those Chronospheres happen. And they still win the fight.
And the theory behind it was good. He wanted to ensure that he zoned the follow-up from complexity.
Well, you know, it separates them. It sort of traps them in the sense that, you know, sure, they're not in the Chronosphere, but they can't walk through the Chronosphere, so they're blocked off from one another. I mean, it does the job.
It's not elegant, but in reality, all Aster needs to do is ensure that they use their big spells before the fight's over. Sylar has no issues just chronoing for one target for the rest of this
targets,
game.
You know. Yeah. As it seems, they can still take the fights. Still does the job.
And I feel like Axe and Kunkka's net worth hasn't changed in 7 minutes. Like, since I commented on it, I think they're both still in the 7s.
Yeah. We'll see them have an attempt. It's D-Stones, but D-Stones able to outplay. He's able to get himself away from the combo. Does get dusted. The wall's going to be down with the ice wall, slowing them though. Another X combo onto D-Stones. The boat is going to come crashing down as D-Stones should tick down. The Supernova's out on the high ground. As Envy, can he keep that egg alive? He cannot. They'll pop the egg. They take the egg, but they have lost D-Stones. Fenrir does fall as well. As now, Baboka in on top of the 3 of them with the Echo Slam. Chain Frost starting to bounce around. There's Sylar heading in with the BKB, trying to focus Z-Freak. As they'll get themselves the double kill for XXS. Double kill response from Skem, as it's a 3 for 3 at the moment. Cole did take that Aegis away. Limp very low though, and XXS will find him as he's there for the cleanup, getting a triple kill on this Weaver, sort of this quiet little Weaver that, as we've said, has been chilling out on his own for a while. Now starting to turn up for the action, looking for the plays as Skem will nuke XXS down. XXS quick with the time. That's one to continue to chase, and the damage between Sylar and XXS, will it be enough? He's got the Frost Armor, Skem. Everybody else dead at the moment on complexity. Sylar and XXS just slowly trying to chase him down. I believe he's shifted into all strength available. No more strength for him to shift into as he will fall. The XXS Weaver now godlike at 25 minutes in. as Aster hold on to that lead. An 8K net worth advantage. XXS and Sylar sitting at the top of the net worth board. He's got more than enough money to pick up that BKB and then some on the Weaver after the back of that fight. As Aster just continue to look that little bit scarier. And it looked like there was an opportunity there for Coley. They get the supernova off. Sure, he still dies, but he gets a good duration out of it. But it just wasn't enough. And now they're going to start bleeding even more kills as mid lane. Snake King caught out alone. The axe gone. There's 11K advantage. Aster really amping up the tempo this game. And compLexity, they're struggling. As you say, kunkka and axe, Limp and Snake King still falling behind. They just haven't been able to offer that much at all to this game.
I haven't felt the impact of any players on Cole in the series, with the exception of Skem. The Snake King axe specifically.
Skem's played. He has played well, I think. Skem. That game one performance on the Terrorblade, considering the situation, he itemized correctly. The farm was bang on. He recovered from a tricky laning stage. Oh, so was close. No, can he punch? No, he can't punch that in time. In fact, can Envy kill it? Oh, okay, they got the Yule's dodge, very nice. Dodges the stun off the supernova, drops down an Echo Slam. Deafening Blast as well to hold Envy in place. He's still got a dive available, but won't be able to get it off. Baboka with the Fisher will secure them a kill. A bit of a messy one, but a kill nonetheless. As the Phoenix gone, as well as the potential threat of a supernova. Yeah, a little bit all over the place from compLexity here in this game too. As, I mean, Sylar, he's absolutely massive, and Skem, you know, try as he might this game to keep on par with his farm as a Morphling. It's still a game where, as we mentioned, he gets caught in that chrono, they are going to be able to blow him up.
It's a really difficult game for Cole. Whenever you have two heroes that rely on, well, kunkka doesn't have a blink, but they need to find kills to be effective. Yeah. They don't really kill creep waves that effectively, and 3 cores of Aster just farm wherever they want, use their ults with reckless abandon, because as long as they find the 1 kill, they know they'll continue to accelerate. Looks like Z-Freak's the next victim.
Indeed, they've got their eyes. Sylar, he's got his eyes on a bigger prize as he goes straight for Limp. Limp jumped on immediately. Z-Freak held down as well as they're just split up. compLexity coming in 1 by 1. Envy diving in. They've got a Yules. They're going to catch him out every time that he goes for a play like that, as he's just straight up feeds his life away. He'll buy back. But the gold lead just ever growing here for Aster, as it almost seems like compLexity may have even just thrown in the towel already in this game.
And you can just see the understanding of the game where you've got a Blink Yules down the Invoker, Weaver going for a Scotty. They understand the lack of damage on compLexity, and they just continue to find that 1 kill into another. They start to pressure. It really feels like a vice slowly being closed.
Pushing into the base now. Sylar still with a Chronosphere at the ready.
No rush. Wait for second Roche.
They can keep it just chill, you know, sort of the same situation before they know that they can take this late. They have this potent Void combo that any stage of the game, you know, a good Chronosphere is almost impossible to outplay. As well, he finds himself a freebie. Snaking out alone, Sun strikes down, T-Stones takes the kill. There's other buyback available, Snaking and Baboka quick with the play. Echo Slam middle, can they get the kill in time with the Deafening Blast? They can! They get that Morphling before he's able to shift into the strength. Envy tried to dive forward, Baboka giving the enchant totem down. The Supernova's there on the high ground. D-Stones is trying to punch into it. Can they kill the egg in time? They can. They take down the egg. There's 3 dead, 4 dead, 5 dead on compLexity. A buyback comes out from Skem. He's gonna die straight away a second time. Triple kill for Sylar. As this game coming shortly to an end, it can only feel like, with only a Lich and a kunkka left to hold. Limp still struggling to find his next item after that Shadow Blade as he holds on to a lonely Ogre Club. Sylar just jumps in, starts beating him to pieces on the Void. As the mid rack's in trouble, they're broken into the base, Aster. As Cole, they will hold on that little longer, but this game, it was much more of a severe beatdown than game 1.
And it just methodical. I mean, it really doesn't feel like Aster did anything super special. They would see a hero, pop a couple ults, find a kill, and inevitably they take the game.
It just didn't feel like Cole played as a team, and I think as well, you know, you sort of talked about it at the start from sort of Limp's perspective. It just maybe felt that he did really get thrown off his game. That first sort of solo kill that he gave up to the Invoker, it just never felt like Limp was able to recover from that.
Yep, and Limp had a tall task in this game already, because he's the one that's going to be able to control tempo. As I said, the Phoenix Lich support duo, they're not really able to make rotations. You need somebody to come to them, and the only hero that can really do that is the Kunkka.
Down bottom, trying to make a go onto Baboka. Baboka will fall. D-Stones with the Ice Wall down. Will take the favorable trade, getting snaking. It's a full Skadi now on Sylar as he is borderline unkillable. Is this net worthly 25,000 at 31 minutes in for Aster. Sylar 20k net worth on the Void. It's going to take some serious mistakes from Aster to see Cole have even a chance in this game. As Aster not messing around, straight into the pit. Without the axe, not really any chance that Cole can do anything about this one. They do have a few heroes in the neighborhood, but they can't look into the pit in time. Aegis to Cheese in the hands of Aster. Now there's Envy. He's got the dive, jump forward for D-Stones, Jules up, Ice Wall's there as well as Envy surrounded. He gets the egg off, but they'll be able to commit and kill off the Supernova. BKB popped by XXS as he turns towards Scam. D-Stones and Sylar falling a little bit low, but Sylar just bashing, beating into Limp once again as Limp is trying his best to fight back against this, but he cannot withstand the damage coming out from Sylar. Fishes out onto two of them as that'll be GG. It is called. Aster take the series 2-0. Game 1 looks a little relatively close. Game 2, it looks sort of like the Aster that we expected to see from their performance so far at this LAN, and it did look again like Cole just continued to struggle against the caliber of some of the teams here.
Just a clean, crisp game from Aster.
Yeah.
I felt like they understood their win condition and the way their draft was set up. They can do better than that. I think that if that's the best Aster at this event, they are not going to win it. But I think they have the potential to do so, but they're going to need to turn it up a little bit. It felt like they played that whole game at like 85%, if that makes sense. Like it just never really felt like they had pressure. And I mean, that's just kind of the product of the way the games are played. I've watched a lot of games today. It feels like the superior team fight is taking pretty much every game.
Yeah. Not
a single game ending before 30 minutes.
No. And I think, as you said, sort of the fact that Aster did that well, I don't think you can let this team sort of get this Void Invoker combo. D-Stones Invoker, Sylar Void. It's how do you play against that?
How do you play? Never give D-Stones Invoker ever.
Okay, there you go.
Ever.
Just the Invoker straight up.
He goes from tier A to tier S the moment you give him that hero, regardless of his lane matchup.
Oh, there we go. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, the last series of the day we're following here as Aster take it 2-0 against compLexity. Back to the panel.
Thanks very much, Odie Pixel and Kyle, with your final commentary of the day. A series which confirms that not only did Team Aster continue on a winning run, 4-0 yesterday, 4-0 today, 8-0 overall, guaranteed not only to go through to the next round, but also in the upper bracket as the top seed in their group. We'll break it all down before the end of the day and show you exactly where they're finishing in Group B, or rather there's a few teams still in play for places, but 3 positions have been decided. Before we get there though, let's break it down with Purge and with Trent at the desk. Gents, very thoroughly professional performance there by Aster, much more clinical this time round. I mean, you know, Carl made the point, it was spectacular. It wasn't like, oh my god, it's amazing, like they're deadly, but it was just efficient, it was clinical.
Yeah, they just played kind of slow, I think, just because they knew they had advantage. They knew that in the super late game they were going to win with like Earthshaker and Invoker and Faceless Void, and even like a Weaver is hard to play against. So, and they're up against a Lich and an Axe who's consistently shut down, and they just knew that they could farm more on the map and get more done and just slowly win it. And they did.
Disappointing. We've been talking in the green room a lot about compLexity. Their matches so far, they seem to be solid. Game 1 seemed to get some good drafts off, seem to execute well. Game 2s have been poor in every single series they play. Why is that?
I think it's just kind of happenstance. I don't know if it's really sort of a pattern going on. Maybe they're feeling a little, you know, demotivated or something after the loss, but or maybe the enemy teams are figuring them out a bit better, perhaps.
Do you think maybe they're getting a little bit cute in the draft at times?
No, definitely not cute. Okay. That is for sure. They're quite ugly.
The only thing that was kind of cute about the draft was maybe picking Kunkka, but like almost every Kunkka game we've seen so far just really falls flat. didn't feel very useful to me. And outside of that, if you pick a Lich as one of your 2-lane supports, you need to make sure that you have something happening on the map other than that. And maybe that's why they pick Kunkka, so that he can make stuff happen. But I just felt like nothing happened from snaking this game. Kind of felt like last game in that vein. And Z-Freak got a little outlaned slightly, or he was playing 5, and at some point, Lich is not going to be useful. I don't know, it felt like they had nothing going on.
Tough game for Z-Freak, tough game for compLexity. Not tough on the other side, though. The notable ones, XXS, 13-2 and 13. D-Stone's 11-5, 16 on his Invoker. We all know about that one. But the standout is the Sylar on the Faceless Void. 13-0-14.
I love these kind of heroes that they're just like true unique heroes, and when they get picked in that perfect situation, I mean, they already had a Weaver that was kind of abusing this like lack of control and lockdown. I was like, okay, this looks like a really good Weaver game. Well, what if our position 1 was like the next closest thing to a Weaver? So you have, like Shikuchi you can't catch, you can't like punish this guy at all before the time walk gets off, and that's why he had 0 deaths.
Very difficult.
What can you do? I mean, he's just chronoing people, and the Sunstrike does half their HP. That's a very easy Void game.
I mean, it didn't help that Void was like 6 when Axe was 4. There was moments like that. Like, it's before the lane even started, Snaking lost his full health. It was like he got first hit bashed by a level 1 bash, and then all of a sudden he had to barely disengage, was saved by Envy using Fire Spirits, and he has to pop a self. It's like, the lane hasn't even started yet, and they already lost a self. Yeah. There's a lot of things like that. Like, the lane just didn't go that great in their off lane. It didn't really go great anywhere. It went kind of okay safe lane. It was okay-ish, but it's not amazing.
Yeah, it's funny how the little things like that sometimes mount up over time.
I mean, that's Dota.
Yeah.
That's Dota.
It could be very cruel at times. Were there any highlights, Trent, for compLexity? Anything they can take away from this and think, okay, you know, we're learning. We know we've still got a shot at getting through this group, so nothing, you know, not everything is lost, but they've got a tough match tomorrow.
Yeah, probably Skem, especially game 1. I mean, you gotta be really proud of a guy that can do that well in one of those games. Not a lot of people that can play a TB to that degree. Thought he had not only just in, like the split push and like keeping his team in it in those situations, keeping his own net worth high when he should be like pressured and feeling like he can't farm quite that much, but just in the actual engagements and team fights, I thought he played very well. So certainly something that, you know, this is the guy who you're trying to get used to playing with, and he is showing up.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown why they've chosen him for the team at least.
Definitely.
Just gotta get a few more games under the belt. compLexity play NIP tomorrow as their final series, and they will need to win both games to have a chance of going through, and even then that might not be enough. Aster take on Forward Gaming. If Forward can get anything out of that game, that will guarantee them a place in the next round. EVOS will play Virtus.pro. EVOS can't now qualify. They are the first team eliminated here. At ESL One Hamburg, they're 1-7 after the first 2 days. Virtus.pro are guaranteed to go through in second in this group, so that's a nothing game for them. Tomorrow, however, MVP for this particular match, there is only one that we can select after getting 13 kills and no deaths, and that's Sylar. So let's confirm that right now with some statistics on your screen. You know, I almost feel like he's reborn in this team. He kind of lost his way a little bit. It's a bit like Baboka in some ways as well. We raved about him. It feels like ages ago, like 18 months ago or something. Seems to have fallen off the radar somehow. Yeah. What is going on in this team? Are they all just rejuvenated?
I mean, both Baboka and Sylar, I think, had very good individual performances. Just Baboka was sort of trapped on a team that kind of felt weak. I mean, his last victory was probably like DAC 2 when Burning was still on the team, kind of an IG era. And Sylar also performed really well on VGJ Thunder. And there was that period. I mean, they qualified for TI just barely, and then there was that like 3-month period where like anybody else can take their slots, but nobody did, so they still made it. So it's like they had a good year. It just they kind of went mediocre for the end of it.
Yeah, it did tail off, didn't it, towards the end of the year. Trent, thoughts on this group, because it's narrow now. There's only effectively 2 spots left between the 3 teams. NIP look probably the strongest out of those 3, with Forward Gaming and compLexity being involved.
Yeah, I would agree. Put them up top, and then stand-in issues for Forward have certainly seemed to hamper them more than at least I expected. I think Excalibur's having a rough time there. At least the whole team's just not really clicking together, it seems. But I would probably still put Cole as the most likely to get eliminated at this point, even if they do manage to get the 2-0. And then I think Forward has to lose both their games, and then they're 1-1 in the head-to-head. So that's when we get our little, you know, time rating, all that stuff going. But I think overall,
Forward does play Aster, so getting 2-0'd is certainly possible.
Possible, but Aster's also already confirmed through, which might be one of those situations where, I mean,
don't want to give any draft strats
away.
Why
would you? I mean, it's already like top seed too. They don't have to play for like
the top seed. Yeah.
So like, why would you?
But if they 2-0 Forward Gaming, then Cole has a chance to be the team not eliminated. That would mean that if you think Ninjas or Forward are better, then you would want to give them a better chance of being eliminated. So
it's true.
Gotta beat him.
Yep. Okay.
Or just play.
All right. It's time to confirm our Play Faster by Vodafone moment today. And I tell you what.
Is it 3-3?
It's a bit of a cracker. Stop giving it away, Trent! It's hard not to have picked that, really, isn't it? It is 33, playing earlier on 1v2. If you can't play as fast as this in the offlane, then you don't win the Play Faster moment by Vodafone. Let's take a look at it. Oh, it's glorious, isn't it? He's dead.
I don't even look at this kind of stuff.
He's got to die here, isn't he?
Right? He doesn't care about the courier. That's why it's so great. Because this guy has raindrops, and like other offlaners wouldn't have got it. You can like spend all your gold when he plays this hero. So he never has to worry about that kind of stuff.
But
and then
like,
the raindrop got full value.
But that Shaker's got full health at that point as well. What are you doing?
Hard life, then he gets raindropped again.
Killing another 1v2. Glorious, glorious play. Deserved. Hashtag Play Faster by Vodafone for 33 in that particular game. Was there anything else that stood out for you today? Was there any other moments where you were like, ooh, I like that. That was good.
Nothing super close. I mean, I really did enjoy the first game of the series. I thought it was really interesting to watch for most of it. There's also close team fight moments, but last series not so much. Last game.
Okay, we should go over the standings, I guess, and also the results of the day. It's been a very packed day. Another 12 games in the history books. Here's your results on the screen. In terms of Group A, which we finished looking at earlier on, they still have a game each or a series each to play, therefore 2 games to decide everything in this group. Nothing is decided whatsoever, despite the fact that you can see the teams in order right now. Vici and Team Secret, 6 points apiece. EG and Pain, they have 4 points apiece, and Mineski and Alliance are on the death line right now. They have just 2 points each, and they each have 2 games to go. So nothing decided just yet in Group A. It's slightly different in Group B, however, as we've just seen. Team Aster have 8 out of 8. Brilliant performance from them. That includes a 2-0 win over Virtus Pro, which means they're guaranteed top spot in this particular group. Likewise, Virtus Pro have a 2-0 win over Forward Gaming, which means it doesn't matter what they do. They are definitely through as well. They have 6 points. Forward have 4. Ninjas in Pajamas have 3 right now. And compLexity on 2. EVOS Esports, unfortunately, for our friends from Indonesia, they are eliminated regardless of whatever result they get tomorrow. Just a recap of those games tomorrow in this group. compLexity play NIP. Aster play Forward. And EVOS play Virtus Pro. So that's a nothing game at the end, unfortunately. But the big one is obviously compLexity versus NIP, because either of those two can still go through. So both have something to play for in that one. And I guess, as you rightly pointed out, Kevin, the Forward Aster game is not a clean-cut 2-0 necessarily, because Aster are already through.
And they're so good. Like it could go both ways. You never know.
Yeah, they might just need a point in that game as well, because it depends on what happens in the compLexity NIP game. That's really exciting. I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to that one. I will say, aside from 3-3, I also thought Sox had a great day. His Earth Spirit game was one of the best Earth Spirits I've seen in a while. He like several sick plays with like the mid-roll kicks and everything, double silences, max range kicks. So he was certainly looking pretty good for a guy who's been out a little bit in terms of like the toppest tier. He was on like that Blink Pool stack before TI. But obviously he's someone who has coming back from, you know, he used to be second place.
He's like coming back from TI6 finals, basically. We haven't seen him too much since then.
Quite true.
That's kind of how it's going.
Yeah, indeed. Just final thoughts from the day and from the first 2 days of what you've made of the meta and the change. Has it changed that much? Doesn't feel like it hasn't changed
that much.
Some people are going up and down. Wyvern has gone down.
In our favor.
I guess Ogre's technically gone up, because I feel like he's being first phase banned in most games.
Indeed.
But that could just be a symptom of like, okay, well, we don't want to first pick him, so we're going to ban him because we want them to have him the 2-3. Doesn't necessarily mean he's the best hero ever.
Okay.
He's just a good 2-3 pick kind of deal. So.
Fun day all round. Fun day all round. Thank you very much, gents. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. It's been another long day of Dota 2. We hope you've enjoyed it here. Live coverage of ESL One Hamburg for day number 2 has come to an end. Tomorrow, day 3, we'll clear up all the groups and we'll play some upper bracket semis as well. We'll start off with the Pain versus EG matchup, so that's going to be fun. Tomorrow, sorry, my bad. Pain versus Secret tomorrow, of course, because both of them still need to win in order to go through or qualify in the upper bracket, so plenty still to play for in Group A. But that's it from day 2. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll leave you with the DHL moments.